Alright, what's going on YouTube? Sean here at Game Memorize. Today we have Vita Carnis New Beginnings. You guys been asking me to do another Vita Carnis reaction, so here we are. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna do 1 or 2 videos today because I'm trying to catch up to the current Vita Carnis videos, but it just depends how I'm feeling after this video. So regardless, if you guys are ready, make sure you guys hit that like button and comment your favorite part of the video, and yeah, let's go right into it. Warning, this video talks about and shows imagery of graphic contents like flashing lights, gore, violence, death. Viewer discretion is advised. Jesus, we got warnings now. Yay!
Today something has happened within the restricted zone, where a large group of cultists have been apprehended. Several teams of military personnel have arrested some high-ranking cultists and have unmasked their identities to the public. Shockingly, several of these members are well-renowned politicians and high-ranking members of multiple governments across the globe.
Many documents have been released providing sufficient proof of the atrocities that were being committed. Some of these crimes include murder, kidnapping, torture, ritual sacrifice, and the list goes on.
The members are found guilty of deliberately providing false information to the public in an attempt to cause harm.
The New Trier Company has been found to have very significant ties with cultist activities and has been shut down. All New Trier products have been deemed hazardous for consumption.
Cultivation farms are facing pressure to shut down.
Public unrest grows as the New Trier cult case brings more crimes that were hidden away to light.
The people are outraged by how little was actually being done.
They demand that something be done to handle
Riots appear in the streets as protests begin to turn aggressive.
Our leaders were plotting against us. Who do we trust? What happens now?
What is that?
Welcome to Magister's Wonder Show.
Huh?
I am the Magister, and get ready to explore all of the world's wonders. Today, we are learning about the Circle of Life.
Carcass. Dr. Marshall Trudeau's head director and doctor of Carcass.
Test report number 4. We still know very little about the nature of the entities. There are 7 singularities in total. Each singularity is roughly 1 meter in diameter. They are made of an unknown material, although it looks and feels very similar to glass. We are unable to sample it in fear of causing potential damage. The material is very dark in color, but has red shimmers of light swirling inside. There are some hints of other colors present, but is mostly dominated by the red.
Okay.
Each entity hovers above the ground in a stationary position, although they can be moved with relative ease. Our equipment can detect some subtle pulses of energy in rhythmic but random patterns.
What is that?
We don't know what they are. We don't know if it is breathing or communicating. We don't even truly know if they are even organic. This is nothing new, just confirming what we already know. Our first experiments didn't give any interesting leads. The most we got was some interference with electronics, especially when there is more than one kept close together.
Okay.
But the experiment we conducted showed extremely significant results. The experiment played out like this. In test chamber 1, a live cow was released into the chamber with V1 for an extended period. They were left together for 24 hours. The test showed minimal results from the entity and an increase in stress from the cow. Next, the body of a cow was put into the chamber with V1 for 24 hours. The results were extraordinary.
Oh my gosh!
5 hours after the whole body had been ingested, concentrations of Kroll rapidly grew from several points from within the chamber. What this could mean, it rewrites everything we knew about the Vita Carnis species.
Allow the Kroll to grow
That
out.
thing turned it.
First, a young larva hatches from within its egg. It will roam around and find food to help it grow and grow. Once they are big enough, they transform into a pupa, and after some more time, they transform into an adult beetle. The adult beetle will go out into the world in search of food.
Audio log. Progress report for crawl samples. Cultivation has been successful. So far, we grew them with 3 specific environmental factors. 1 is our control group, 2 with access to additional nutrition sources, and 3 with exposure to radio signals. Group 1 grew on par with standard crawl samples. No distinct abnormalities. Group 2 grew at a faster pace than the control group, as expected. No distinct abnormalities.
That is disgusting to look at.
Group 3 grew against its normal pattern, weaving its way toward the radio. Once the device was claimed, it switched to usual growth patterns. Again, no distinct abnormalities. In conclusion, the samples that were grown in V1's test chamber don't seem to differ from others grown from other sources. Still, we will continue with more factors in further groups, just in case. There have been some developments in the propagation group. V1 samples have seemingly been able to produce nodules at a slightly quicker rate than wild samples. Control groups show that V1 samples begin node development a few days faster. More time will be needed to say for sure. As for the nodes themselves, there aren't any distinct abnormalities. We've successfully hatched a dozen Carnish juveniles, several trimmings, 2 meat snakes, and even 1 mimic.
What?
We will be sending them to the enclosures after everyone's reports get sent out. And
They just make more. Ew! You created a whole mimic, y'all.
And then
Let's
it's
talk
ground
about
into a
it.
fine mint and is now ready for the garden.
Huh? Trimming specialist. Fine Pinetro.
Audio log. Progress report for trimming colony. Significant progress in learning the social patterns of a group of trimmings we have been keeping together. A new batch of juveniles were added to the main colony at the beginning of the new progress report. They were accepted into the community immediately. No conflict or rejection observed. They did provide the circumstances to document more of their interactions. Trimmings communicate through a series of vocal cues. Colony members meeting the new batch with squeaks and squeals. They also are not afraid to show us when they are upset.
My gosh.
Trimmings also use some physical displays as well.
Bro, why are we just not burning them? Burn them all.
Trimmings do a chewing or chatter motion with their mouths when they are happy or interested in something.
Bro, just burn it, man.
The experiment that we performed was to explore the extent of their communication skills. The test went like this. We took one of the trimmings and had them in place in a modified enclosure. A speaker would play 2 separate audio cues. A positive cue would play, followed by a treat, and a negative cue, followed by a small spray of cold water. We did several rounds of both audio cues to condition the trimming's response.
gosh. They hate cold water?
After the test, the trimming was released back to its colony. And after a few hours, we tested how much the trimmings communicated. Another speaker was placed near the colony's enclosure, where we played the same audio cues. It is incredible to see how layered their social interactions can be. Although, we tried something a bit bizarre.
See, is scientists always testing stuff that make everything go wrong?
Settled around the facility recently. It was strange.
What do you mean it was strange? What was strange, sir?
No, it was a long shot. We set up a radio device near the wild colony and near ours. We linked both devices up and played the cues.
There's many dangers out there in the world. There are many predators that would love to have beetles for a snack. And unfortunately, not all beetles make it. Yes, it is sad, but that's how the circle of life works. But look, one of the beetles has laid eggs. And once the beetle's eggs hatch, the beautiful cycle starts again. And life continues on.
What is going on? Oh, okay, he got a cast now? Oh, yeah. He going up. That boy Darren going up. I see you, bro. I see you. Alright, we can do one more. Let's do reveal progress. We got Vita Carnis, reveal progress. So what's going on? Yep, I already know. My boy got a cast, warning. This is looking very analog horror-ish. Okay. This legit, y'all. This is legit.
Now only the most beautiful,
quality only going up from
unique
here.
Specimens will be moving forward.
There are
here he
lots
go.
of fossils hidden on the earth, and plenty make their way into rivers and streams. You can look for them too.
Oh, here we go. Azram Griffiths?
Audio log. Progress report on the Meat Snake Recreation Project. From our previous report, the juvenile meat snake we selected was grown in a standard captivity cell until maturity. The specimen we had selected was now an acceptable size for the project to begin.
Dang, that jump. Oh my gosh.
The specimen was moved into restraints. Twice a day, we fed it fresh meat, scraps, roadkill, making sure that it received the necessary materials like bones and organs to grow. 4 days into feeding, the specimen's mood mellowed out. The usual intimidation display was now a patient eagerness. It seems that the specimen now understands that we are feeding it. 11 days into feeding, the specimen has slowed down immensely. It has also been occasionally rejecting food. It looks like we have been overwhelming it, not giving it enough time to properly digest and implement the material. Feeding has been reduced to once a day, but with an increase of portion size. 19 days into feeding, the meat snake has almost shut down entirely. It no longer reacts to external factors. It still accepts food, but with assistance. A makeshift mechanism was made to help the feeding process. Favorable results have begun to show. The hue of the specimen's skin has been turning shades darker. Sampling period seems to be approaching sooner than expected. Day 21 into feeding. The specimen has reached all the required criteria to begin sampling. We managed to obtain a skin patch intervention. We began with cold resistance. The typical meat snake skin can hold its integrity up to negative 30 degrees Celsius. The specimen sample survived down to negative 100 degrees, even maintaining flexibility. Next, the heat resistance test. The sample was able to withstand impressive temperatures. We were only able to bring the temp up to 3,000 degrees Celsius before we had to bring in new equipment. We used some welding equipment and determined that the sample's limit was capped at around 5,000 degrees Celsius. Sample testing was interrupted by a peculiar event with the specimen. Personnel during the routine feeding found that the meat snake had escaped its restraints.
What?
By performing mitosis. The two organisms were simply wandering the lab at the time. The project has been halted for now, and the two meat snakes have been moved back into their original enclosure. We are preparing more tests at the start of the new process report. End log.
You can make your own sieve at home. The mesh will catch large debris, allowing smaller things to pass through. But you can add more layers with different mesh to catch more things.
Lovely contestants so far, but there can only be one winner. And this year's winner is Patty!
Who is Patty? She look like that Vita mimic with the blood, the skin. Mimic
this is my
expert.
audio report for this month's progress, albeit a little bit late by a few months. Anyways, it's been a bit slow, but there
the
have
Vita mimic,
been
they
some
can like
fascinating findings.
accustom to
I
human
guess I'll
skin.
start with the juveniles. Feisty fellas, already chock full of hunting instinct. Their hunting patterns are similar to other ambush predators. They will wait and then catch their prey with the element of surprise. They prefer to hunt prey smaller than themselves, stuff they can take down easily. But once they are older, they start getting a little cockier.
Oh my gosh!
They have the killing technique.
He said, "I want
to back
you."
up. They usually aim for the throat or neck to deliver a kill as fast as possible.
Oh my gosh!
But once they metamorphosize into their adult form, it's harder to determine their patterns.
Ooh.
The juveniles we do manage to get into their adult form don't last very long. They simply hide away, rejecting all food we provide. As it is well known, adults only eat human flesh. The adults we have all die to starvation. The best candidates for research are the ones we capture out in the wild. They last longer, most likely due to them already having food and nutrients in their systems. It's not something I dwell on too often. I am thankful for the ones they bring in for me. We got several adults, even a few humanoid ones. We're able to understand a bit of how they work before they eventually whittle away.
What if one just breaks out and kills everybody?
The adult forms change drastically from their previous form. Hunting now takes much longer as they observe and watch their prey. They are very cautious, waiting for the best opportunity. They take advantage of anything they can to get an upper hand. Their most popular tactic nowadays is climbing inside of furniture. Freshly metamorphosed adults are roughly 160 centimeters in height, but can fold themselves tightly into small spaces. One was even found inside one of those old-fashioned mannequins. And older adults still fit exceptionally well in tight places. It's funny, we didn't even know they could do this until the late 70s. They weren't even called mimics then. They were called, butchers. They changed it because its name better matched the description of characters in some kid's board game. Anyways, the hunting tactics beyond this are confusing to say the least. All depictions of their patterns have been wrong in one way or another. Ever since that public announcement in '86, they keep changing it. In reality, it is almost completely random. Each case in the wild is different and it's hard to determine why in captivity. Plus, human testing is a no-go, even though I volunteered myself. feel so close to figuring it out. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. The next stages are even harder to... Wait, how long do these tapes have to be?
What is going on?
Look, this one would have fallen through our first sift. There are plenty of other fun things you can find as well.
Okay.
Oh no, my sieve isn't working.
Looks like there's a hole in your mesh. Make sure your mesh isn't damaged, or else something might slip through.
Like what? 1992. Footage of the incident with V1 involving a cleanup team in chest chamber 1.
Personnel room 21.
What happened?
Help! What happened?
My leg's caught.
That's what I'm saying!
It's bad. It's bad. I'm bleeding.
What do I do?
I can't reach.
What do I do?
Help me down, please. Please.
We need medical assistance in test chamber 1.
God.
Stay calm. Help is on the way. Just try to stay
Damn
strong.
it. Oh, God.
All right, we're here. We're going to help you. Lower the ladder slowly. This is going to hurt.
Ooh.
Okay, hold still. Ready? Now.
What's happening to him? Get him out of here now! Get him out!
What do you do when you see that in person, bro? You just give up. You can't do nothing. You're dead. You're literally dead. We have one more Vita Carnis video, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And let me know how soon y'all want the last one. And without further ado, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.